Call this meeting to order of the Fremont County Board of Commissioners. Is Jesse Perez in the audience?
No.
I don't see him, so if we could invite you to stand and listen to Tom Kilgore give the invocation and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Let's pray. Father God, I thank you for everyone in this room, and I pray for health and happiness for all of them. God, I thank you for the honor of having public servants like these before me that seek to serve our county. Father, give them wisdom as they make the decisions that they have to make. Give them integrity because we trust in them, and they have to be, beyond any shadow of a doubt, clean as the driven snow. And so, Father, that's not easy. As a minister, I know. And so, Father, bless them, help them, because it isn't easy to lead. And Father, for this meeting that's about to begin, it begins with a pledge of allegiance to the nation and the precepts that keep us governed and make us united. And may those precepts continue to guide not only us as individuals, but this meeting and this county and still our nation. So, Father, thank you for today. Thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for the opportunity that we get to address the issues of life here in this meeting. Bless now this meeting. In your name I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Payne.
Present.
Commissioner Bell.
Present.
Commissioner McFall.
Present.
County Clerk Barr.
Present.
County Attorney Jackson.
Present.
County Manager Bryant.
Present.
Planning and Zoning Director Koch.
Present.
Next, we'll turn to approval of agenda. See any changes? What's your wishes?
I don't see any changes with that. Mr. Chair, I move to approve the agenda
Second.
on the consent agenda.
Make a change on the consent agenda?
Yeah, there is a change to the consent agenda. We are adding the approval of the right of entry agreement with Charter for the Fremont County Shop on County Road, on Red Canyon Road. That needs to be added into the consent agenda.
Okay, then with that.
With that, I move to approve the agenda.
Okay.
I will second that with the notation that we are making that item number 8 on the consent agenda and moving the scheduled public hearings as none down to number 9 because that's been our tradition. So
Okay.
I second.
Got all that?
Got it.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next, we will turn to the consent agenda, and I'll note that we do not have any scheduled public hearings coming up. And with that,
I move to approve today's consent agenda.
Second.
oh, we moved right into that, didn't we? Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, we'll move to an administrative and informational. First on that is County Clerk's year-end report. We'll turn to our County Clerk Recorder, Katie Barr. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, we finally wrapped up the year. So, total motor vehicle fees, sales taxes, and recording fees collected for the year of 2017 was $13,449,234.88. Fremont County's portion for disbursement is $7,528,722.35, which is 56% of the total fees collected, and after reconciling all accounts is $844,787.06 more than 2016. So we had a good year.
Okay.
We did have a good year, and I would note once again, when we have a good year, a lot of people have a good year because most of this money actually is distributed out to various districts throughout Fremont County. Unfortunately, this government does not get to keep all of that. So with that, I move to accept the county clerk's year-end report.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, we'll move to the County Manager report. Good morning.
Good morning. So just a couple of quick notes. Over the last couple of weeks, we have attended a area managers luncheon, so those are always good to reach out to the local managers and see what else is going on in the community. We did have interviews for our emergency and recovery manager position. Steve Morrissey has notified us that he will be retiring in the middle of March, and so we have advertised that position and conducted interviews, and we have extended an offer to an individual, and they are scheduled to start on February the 26th, so there will be a 3-week overlap between those two people to get that person up and going. And so the commissioners and I and Rod Potter, our intern, had a goal-setting session. So we're working on trying to come up with goals to accomplish this year. So I'm pretty excited to get going on those. And then last Wednesday, Commissioner McFall, Rod, and I attended a meeting up at the Capitol to speak with a couple of senators from the Joint Budget Committee to discuss the possibility of looking at the courthouse funding and the jail bed funding that the state pays for the DOC inmates that are at the jail. And just a couple of projects that we have working on. We have our interim audit scheduled for next week, so we'll be busy with that. And then our IT department is still updating the county website. We did have a meeting with the board and to review that, so it's coming together very well. And then we're still working on the strategic plan. So it's going good.
Yes,
So if I could make a couple of comments.
Please do.
First, I would like to note, Sunny, I don't think it's really an update of the county website. It is a total and complete revision.
You're exactly right.
So it's going to be really exciting when we roll this out. It's new, it's clean, it's fresh. I think it's going to be much more user-friendly than what we've had in the past. So we're really excited about that. And the other note I wanted to make is our governmental veteran affairs liaison guy who is here working with us, Rod, has done a really good job of pulling together a start for that strategic plan that Sunny was just talking about. So we're all really excited. We're not only working on a strategic plan, but we're working on what we believe is the first ever mission statement for Fremont County. We're also in the process of putting together overriding goals, and once we have what the commissioners want kind of in place, then the process is going to go to other elected officials and to department heads to get everyone's input. It's going to be wide-ranging, it's going to be broad, but we think in the end it's going to be a really good thing to have in place because it can help guide the direction and the decisions that this board makes from now on moving forward. So we're really excited to get that done.
okay.
Yeah, I just want to kind of add something to what Sonny talked about there. We did go to Denver to talk to some legislators. We talked to 2 senators that are on the Joint Budget Committee, President Grantham, and then a representative. Courthouse funding, there's a huge increase in court cases. Our courthouse, thank goodness, was built to where it can expand, but we need some help with money to expand that, to build another courtroom. With all the caseload that is increasing, it's kind of a necessity, and it's not just our problem, it's happening statewide. So hopefully the state senators that we talk to will bring it back to their people and that we can get some more money to help with that, because it is kind of state-funded courts out there. It's just that we got to foot the bill. State-run courts, we got to foot the bill. So hopefully something will happen with that. That's all we can hope for there on that deal.
Okay. Thank you. Next, we'll turn to sales and use tax report, and we once again turn to Sunny Bryant, our county manager.
Okay, so going over the retail sales tax collections in the month of November, we collected $362,932, which is up $23,850 from November of last year. Year to date, we are up $190,374. The auto use tax collections in the month of December, we collected $77,659, which is down slightly from December of last year. And year to date, our collections were up $74,272. The lodging tax in the month of November, we collected $63,009, which is up $5,844. Year to date, we are up $24,653. And in the sheriff's department sales tax question, the month of November collected $241,954, which is up $15,900 from November of last year. Year to date, it's up $126,916. And then the auto use tax collections in the month of December came in at $51,772, which is down $2,173 from December of last year. And year to date, we are up $49,878. And I didn't do the construction use tax reports. We're still waiting on the remittance from the 2 municipalities. So as soon as we get that, we'll do those updates and have those end of the year numbers as well. So overall, we are closing out the year ahead of where we had estimated with budget goes.
Okay. Any other staff or elected officials?
I just have a comment that I would like to make. It is the season for banquets and such, so this board has already attended a few. We had the opportunity to attend the Fremont Economic Development Corporation dinner a week ago, heard a really interesting speaker, and got an update from Rob Brown, the executive director, on all the things that are happening here throughout Fremont County, looking at economic development. And maybe a little bit more exciting than that for some, we attended the Canyon City Chamber dinner a couple of weeks ago, and I simply would like to say congratulations to David Reynolds, who was named Citizen of the Year for 2017, so well deserved. And we have coming up within the next month or so, we have the Florence Chamber dinner, we have the Penrose Chamber dinner, we have Cattlemen coming up, and I'm not sure what else. So,
Do you have anything, sir?
No.
Anybody else have anything? We did get a end-of-year report from Fremont Adventure Recreation, or most of us know them as FAR. I'll just go over a couple of numbers. They had 275 volunteer hours on trail projects in 2017, 5,450 total adventure guides distributed. They did 10 miles of new trail, and they've designed 6 more miles of new trail. And in all of their endeavors, they ate 84 donuts. So anyway, thanks to FAR for everything they've done for the community. Moving on, citizens who wish to address the commissioners on matters not scheduled on the agenda. I do have some that is on the agenda. Does anybody have anything to visit with us not on the agenda? And if you do want to speak on items on the agenda, please fill out a slip and get them to our county clerk. Okay. Nobody's rushing up. Awesome. Okay. We have no old business. Let's move into new business. Number one, there's Weed Management 2017 report. With us, we have our Weed Management Director, Nick Bankston. Good morning, Nick.
Morning.
good morning.
All right, so this is just a brief report on our 2017 management activities. Here's just a brief overview of the different partners we work with. A lot of private landowners and managers within the county. We have our Arkansas Cooperative that we're a big part of, Fremont Conservation District with the Wish Up Launches Program, and then a lot of different various research agencies.
Sorry.
First time. This is just a brief overview of some of the species we're working with. We have 4 list A's present here in Fremont County. Elongated mustard just in Wellsville, and then giant reed, Japanese knotweed, myrtle spurge found mainly in gardens throughout Canyon City, Florence, and Penrose. Just a couple of our most problematic or prevalent list B's. This is just a map of all the points, not a comprehensive map of the distribution of weeds, just ones we mapped last year. A lot of the ones around Canyon City and Florence and Penrose, those are the newly discovered giant reed, which we're going to be addressing this year. Elongated mustard, one of our list days, it's found only in Wellsville in Colorado. It occupies about 2,000 acres around the Arkansas River. Grows in very steep rocky habitats that are very difficult to treat using normal control methods. So we hired a helicopter to do that. We treated 64 acres last year by helicopter, down from 80 acres in 2016 and 160 in 2015. So it seems like our management is working so far. It's a cooperative effort with Shady County, Department of Ag, BLM, the helicopter spray service that we use. So the purple outline was the known distribution before. The yellow pins are the points we treated last year. You can see a couple of them are outside of the previous known distribution, so it's important we keep mapping and staying vigilant, even though the numbers are decreasing. Rainbow Park was a big project we were doing down in Florence. 19 different landowners we were working with, and we removed over 102 acres of Russian olive and tamarisk, employing hydro-axe, fire shields, and swift chainsaw crews. As you can see down the bottom, the picture on the left is before the project started. The picture on the right is after we had finished. So cleared out a lot, and all the landowners are very happy with it. And we're almost finished. We only have about 3 properties left, which we should be taking care of this spring. And that's just a map of the extent of the project along the Arkansas River. Here's a quick summary of all the different species we treated in the acreage. We did a lot of work for CDOT, Fremont DOT, BLM, and City of Kansas City, in addition to the private landowners we work with, who we're able to cost share the expenses to private landowners thanks to Fremont Conservation District and the funds they give us. Here's a comparison of the acreage from last year, 2016. As you can see, we were down about 50 acres, but almost all of that is due to some contract issues with CDOT. So we weren't able to do much work in Pueblo last year, and not nearly as much in Custer County either. Fremont acreage was pretty close, but we have resolved that issue with CDOT, so our work will be resuming with them, and we should get our numbers back up next year. And here's our budget. So you can see we were only down about $2,000 from our starting budget at the end of the year, which was largely due. We had an inordinate amount of repairs to do this year, which results in cost. And our only outstanding payment is the state weed fund grant, which we submitted last week and should be receiving shortly. Here's our 2018 budget. I made a couple of updates. We just found out from the City of Florence that they have $2,000 of funding for us. And our state weed fund grant, which we're applying for this year, is $50,000, so just a little bit more than we applied for last year. And our BLM grants are slightly higher because they want us to do a Great Creek project, which would be nice. And we don't have numbers yet for Parks and Wildlife, but they want us to do some work in the Beaver Creek area, so that should be some additional funding. And yeah, the budget's looking good for next year. So plans for this year is just continuing to work to the Reading and Mustard, finish the Rainbow Park project. We're going to try to work with private landowners to take care of the Japanese Howdy Myrtle spurs found in their lawns and gardens. We're going to keep working with private landowners down in Custer County since they don't have a weed manager in place right now to help them. We're going to resume spraying in Pueblo and Custer, work with CDOT. We have a new project with Parks and Wildlife, and we have a new mapping system in the state, which should be good. It'll give us more comprehensive and detailed data on the weeds present. So thanks to the commissioners and everybody who supports this program, and thanks for Sunny for helping me figure everything out.
Thank you, Nick. Anybody have any comments?
Yeah, I do. Nick, you mentioned the Florence River Park. For those of you that haven't seen the Florence River Park, you should go check it out. Before, you couldn't hardly walk through it, much less see through it. And the work they've done there, as well as along the riverbank, has opened it up where it's actually a park. It's very cool. And there is a little bit more work that they're doing out there. They're doing some east of Florence as well on the tamarisk and it's going to make a huge difference, but it helps all the way around. It helps the wildlife, everything else. So it was a good job on that, and thanks.
So I simply have a really quick comment for you. Sorry. Some of you may not know that Nick came in partway through 2017. It's always a really scary thing for the county to have to replace a department head. Nick did replace Jana Rapetti, who had been here for many years. And having said it's always a really nervous thing, you have absolutely stepped up to the plate, and you have done an amazing job for Fremont County. And I just wanted to recognize you for that because we are so appreciative of everything that you do.
I appreciate hearing that.
Thank you so much.
Help with Sonny, Jana, and Tony, and everybody. So,
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks.
Okay, item number 2 under new business is a resolution in support of Fair Districts Colorado.
Might ask if anyone showed up.
Pardon me?
Might ask if anyone showed up.
Has anybody showed up from Fair Districts Colorado? They still haven't. Okay, so I'll turn to Commissioner Bell for an explanation.
So I was contacted a few weeks ago from an organization called Fair Districts Colorado, asking this board to support, perhaps in the form of a resolution, what they're working on, which is to create a fair way in Colorado for redistricting. As many of you probably know, it's always been a very, very political issue, and they have come up with what they believe would be a more equitable solution that actually gives a voice at the table not only for Republicans and for Democrats, but for unaffiliated voters and voices as well. So we do have a resolution that we have come up with, and I think we're prepared to move forward with. This would be resolution number 6. And having said it's fairly lengthy, Mr. Chair, I don't know if you're interested in reading this morning or bypassing that. It's up to you.
That's a fairly long resolution.
It is a long resolution.
Yes, it is.
Can we clarify whether it gets a number or not, please? I'm not sure that it gets a number.
So,
It
yes,
does? Okay, thank you.
So
Okay.
number 6.
Number 6.
So your choice, Mr. Chair.
If we don't need to read it and just kind of highlight it, I think we're good enough there. Unless you want to read it.
It's up to you. So, the resolution, I'll maybe just skim it and give a little bit of highlights. The resolution talks about the process to develop legislative and congressional districts, the fact that it is a very high stakes process with broad ramifications to the state and to the nation because this process is undertaken every 10 years. Currently, the entire process is controlled by political parties and incumbents who benefit from the drawing of those lines. Let's see. Despite Colorado being one of the most competitive states in the nation, being nearly divided between Democrats, Republicans, and unaffiliated voters, Colorado's legislative and congressional maps are the antithesis of competitive, with only 3 of 65 state house seats competitive, 6 of 35 state senate seats competitive, and 1 of 7 congressional districts competitive. So what they're seeking is a new independent commission to redistrict both the legislature and the state legislature and the United States Congress districts, consisting of an equal number of Republicans, Democrats, and those unaffiliated with either major party. Stipulating that not only the commission's impartial, nonpartisan professional staff would draw the initial maps. It would require a super majority of these commission members, including at least 2 of the unaffiliated members, to support the maps to become final, preventing partisanship from hijacking the map process. So basically, we're saying we're in favor of this if we choose to pass this. Yes.
Also, with the 2020 census, it's most certainly going to have an 8th congressional district in Colorado. This weighs heavily into this too, that we have another congressional district into this. So your wishes.
Mr. Chair, with that, I would move to approve resolution number 6, a resolution in support of Fair Districts Colorado.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you for that brief.
You're welcome.
Okay. We'll move on to number 3, new liquor license, BLJ Incorporated, doing business as Quickie Mart for a 3.2% retail liquor license. This is located at 1503 Elm Avenue, Canyon City. Do we have Brenda Johnson? We do. Front center.
Morning.
Good morning.
Okay. What do you got going on here?
Well, I'm going to have a drive-through convenience store.
And you're looking at trying to sell 3.2 liquor out of that, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. But now it was just passed for these type of stores to go to 6%, is that correct?
I believe so. And I believe so, probably 2019 or something.
Yes,
Okay.
next year.
And that's what your plan is to do, is to move on to 6% when you can, is that right?
I'm not really sure. I'm just opening up for convenience, a drive-through convenience store. I'm sure we probably take that step.
Okay. because we had this before us in March of 2016 for a liquor store in that same location. And we had quite a well, not a controversy, but quite a lot of conversation about that happening at that time. And that's what, I guess my concern is this going to happen again if you move on to 6% liquor? The beer.
Absolutely not. I have no interest. I am applying for a 3-2 multi-beverage license, no liquor license.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
Not at this time.
Okay.
No.
Okay. You good for now? Okay. So we have some.
I have one question.
Okay.
How far away are you from water hole number 1? How many feet?
I'm just really not sure.
Are you within 1,500 feet?
I'm really not sure.
That's something that we have to have answered before the board can make a decision on the liquor license.
Well, back before, in March of 2016, I have my notes from the agenda then, and we have a 600-foot distance. That was then.
The statute provides that on and after July 1st of 2016, so that would be after that initial
Okay.
application then, the state and local licensing authorities shall not issue a new license authorizing the sale at retail of malt, vinous, or spirituous liquors if the premises is located within 1,500 feet of another licensed premise licensed to sell malt, vinous, or spirituous liquors at retail. So there cannot be 2 retail stores within 1,500 feet on a new license application.
And that includes the 3-2?
Yeah,
That's
it
not
includes
different?
anything, malt, vinous, or spirituous.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I believe our county clerk also is prepared to discuss the distance between the two this morning.
And
If you can
that's-
verify for us.
Yes, and that is correct, absolutely. And the other one I would bring up is that the other direction is Quick Stop, who has a 3-2 license as well, but I do believe that's outside of the 1,500, but that is correct.
Okay.
And the property has been posted, published, the application is in order otherwise, so.
Okay, well, that's what I'm going by is what we had in March of 2016 on the notes here. It was 600 foot, which I'm not sure where we go from here.
No, I have no intentions of getting a liquor license. I'm just filing for this, just like any other convenience stores carry the 3.2%. I haven't looked into anything else. I'm looking into a convenient store, a drive-through convenience store at that. So
Well, the issue-
I have in town.
But the issue here is the liquor license. That's why you're before us, not to sell potato chips. So that's the issue in front of us here.
And whether it's 3-2 or 6-0, it's still a liquor license.
Right.
And as far as next year, they are looking at doing that and taking away a percentage, so there won't be a 3-2 or a 6-0, but that has not passed yet, so.
It
Okay.
has, actually. It's
Has
the
it?
law
Okay.
that next year, as of January 1st, 2019, the definition of fermented malt beverage eliminates any reference to 3.2% liquor by volume or weight. And so essentially, they're changing the definition of beer to be all beer, not just 3-2 versus all other beer.
Okay.
So they're eliminating any reference to just 3-2 licenses or any 3-2 beer. And they're working this year on how that's going to look as far as applications for grocery stores, convenience stores, and how to transition that into a license that covers all beer as opposed to just 3-2.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I have a question for our attorney, if I could.
Okay.
Typically, I know that we treat liquor license applications as a public hearing, and we allow members of the public to get up and tell us their wishes, arguments for and against. My question for you, Brenda, is on this, because we have this new statute of about 18 months ago saying that we may not approve a second license if we need to go through that process and allow public comment, if this is pretty much predetermined as far as our decision goes.
Because of state statute.
Yes.
Yeah, I went through the license again looking for distance so that we could have averted this prior to coming before the board. But there isn't any reference in the application as to the distance between the two. So that was a question we needed to have answered. but you do not have discretion to grant approval of this license because of the distance. The statute says you shall not issue a new license, so.
Pretty cut and dried.
So with that, Mr. Chair, I move to deny.
I'll second. So it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Item number 4, approval of memorandum of understanding with Rocky Mountain Behavioral Health for the Sobering Centers Care Coordinator position. Turn to our county manager, Sunny Bryant.
Okay, so, sorry, let me switch the agenda here. We have actually been working with Rocky Mountain Behavioral Health for about a month now. Our Stacy Quiddick from our Department of Human Services had reached out to them and let them know that we were looking for potential funding for this position for the care manager at the Sobering Center. And they actually had applied for some Senate Bill 202 funds, which essentially would give the funding for this. So the agreement that is before you, the agreement that is before you will actually it's an MOU between Fremont County and Rocky Mountain Behavioral Health, so they have applied for and obtained grant funds to cover this position, and the agreement would be to give them access to the care coordinator for 20 hours per week. So he can actually have an office at their facility to be able to help with the patients that they are serving and the patients that are going through the Sobering Center. So it's trying to connect the two links as far as those two services go.
Okay. I know Commissioner Bell had worked very hard on this. This was kind of her thing that she put a whole lot of time and a whole lot of effort into.
With a lot of help from community partners.
Yes.
Absolutely, yes. So one thing I would say about this, Mr. Chair, is that I can see working with Rocky Mountain Behavioral as going both ways. First of all, the folks who actually do come to the Sobering Center and need help, they're searching for help to stop their addiction, will already have our sobering care manager there to be able to help them. But he now will be able to connect them with more services. And on the other hand, I see him working with folks who are already connected at Rocky Mountain and hopefully preventing them from having to use the Sobering Center. So I think this is really a win-win situation, and I just thank everyone out there so much for working on this, for finding funding to help the county pay for this position, and I think that it's continuing to evolve, which I knew that it was going to, and I think it's only getting better. So thank you to Sunny and to everyone who's worked on this.
Okay.
And with that, I move to approve the Memorandum of Understanding with Rocky Mountain Behavioral Health for the Sobering Center's Care Coordinator position.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Move on to item number 5, approval of the 2018 contract with the Humane Society of Fremont County for impound services. I believe we'll go with our county manager, Sunny Bryant, on this one.
Oh, okay. So each year, the Humane Society approaches the entities that have any type of animal control, or the municipalities, the county, and they set rates based on prior year numbers. So this year, they had approached the county, and we've had a few discussions back and forth. And so the amount for 2018 is $54,759 for the services that the Humane Society performs.
Now, the document we have here, I thought I was supposed to sign this.
You are. Did they ever send you another signature page?
There is another signature page in that, and I
It's
apologize
actually
that
in
it
here.
hasn't, yes, it
Okay.
didn't make it into the folder.
So
We'll get
this
that
one here is
updated
a
in the
moot
folder,
point.
but
Awesome.
it is for your signature there.
Right, okay. Thank you. All right. Wishes.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the 2018 contract with Humane Society of Fremont County for impound services.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next, we move on to item number 6, reappointment of Larry Baker to the Board of Zoning Adjustment for a 3-year term ending February 14th, 2021. Let's say before I became a commissioner, I was on the Board of Zoning Adjustment, and Larry Baker was on that then. He's done a really good job on that Board of Zoning Adjustment.
I believe Mr. Baker has expressed an interest in serving another 3-year term. So, Mr. Chair, I move to reappoint Larry Baker to the Board of Zoning Adjustment for a 3-year term, which will end on February 14th of 2021.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item number 7, appointment of a new member to the John C. Fremont Board to fill a vacant position with a term ending December 31st, 2021. Okay, I lost my place here, sorry.
It's okay. So we had a seat that was occupied by Craig Maley, and Craig is unable to continue because he has moved out of that library district, so the board is seeking to replace him. They have recommended that we name Sherry Johns to the library board. This term shall expire on December 31st of 2021. So, Mr. Chair, I move to appoint Sherry Johns to fill that vacant position.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to appoint Sherry Johns to the John C. Fremont Board with a term ending December 31st, 2021. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And with no further business coming before this board, we are adjourned.
Can I speak here?
We're already.
I'm on the list to speak to.
Oh, I am so sorry. I thought it was all about the,
I was going to ask you if any of those were.
sorry,
I just want to congratulate you guys for running another business out of town. What would you care if there were 3 liquor stores in one building? That's free economy.
this is state statute, sir. It's not up to us.
And the state statute created by you people. You know, just run another one out. When I'm representing the county all day, I'll say, if you want to come here and do something, forget it. Nice place to live, stupid place to try to do business.
Thank you, sir.
very much.
We are adjourned.